There is no one formula for making something that looks great. Hello and welcome back to another video. Today we're having a little bit of a change of scenery. As you can see, I am on a survival world. I'm on a server and it is very cool. And we're on here because we're going to talk about how to build good cliffs and terraform your worlds. So as you can see here, I have a cliff that I've created. It is not quite finished because I want to put a river down there. But it is a quite decent cliff if this was the bottom. It comes out a fair bit from where it starts, but it is a fairly good cliff, I'd say. So that's what we're going to be talking about today. So with any sort of natural build, you can't just create like a cube or like add a couple different shapes. You can't do something like this where you just add more shapes to it. You have to think about the different planes that you will see this on. So you've always got your 2D view. So you've got, if you're looking at it from any one particular side, you've got the X and Y axis. So your sideways and your other sideways. From this angle, you're going to see it flat on. How is it going to look flat on? Then you need to add in depth because it is a 3D thing. So on this cliff, I'm going to see it from this side. So if I see it from this side, I'm going to see it flat on, basically. And how is it going to look like from this side? From this side, it looks very diagonal, and I do need to fix that. But I'm also going to see it from the other side, which is the depth. So the depth in this is how it comes in here. It tapers in. But if I'm standing in it like this, it's not immediately obvious that it is tapered in here. But you do need to think about the depth, because if you have a big flat wall, it's going to look a lot worse than if you have a big flat wall that tapers in. So you've got your both sides. You're looking at it from this side, and you're looking at it from this side. Then with different things, you might look at it from bird's eye view. Looking at it from bird's eye view is interesting with a cliff. Like, you can look at it from above with the grass, but you're not really going to see much of the cliff. So bird's eye view doesn't really apply here. But yeah, so you need to think about the different ways that you are going to see it. You're going to see it from lots of different angles, but the easiest ones to think about are looking at it from one side, looking at it from the other side, and looking at the depth of it. So you've got your 3 planes, your up and down plane, your crossways plane, and then your backwards plane. So you need to think about how it's going to go up and down. How does this go up and down? How does it go across? How far does it go across? And how far does it go back? And like with these planes, how far does it taper back? Like you can mix in different planes. So how far diagonally up does it go? But these are the basic planes these are the basic planes that you are going to see your build from. There is no one formula for making something that looks great. This, you could argue, doesn't look all that great. It's a lot of trial and error. When you're building something like this, you need to continually look back, go somewhere else, and look at it from different angles. Look at it from this side, look at it like this, where you're not looking at one side or another, but you're looking at how it goes across diagonally, or you look at it from another side. You need to constantly reevaluate how it looks and how the shapes look. This is nowhere near a finished build, but I think it's a good example of a work in progress. When you build something like this, you need to think about the curves that the natural environment has. It doesn't go up and down and across, and it doesn't come out in cubes, which makes building in Minecraft very hard because there are so many cubes. It's literally a cube game. But you need to build with these curves in mind so that it doesn't look artificial and just go up and down or go across. Like it needs to do both of those things at the same time to create nice curves while still building like in the squares. With the next photo that I'll put on, you can see more curves, but they're more like haphazard and like they add to the natural look. If you have haphazard curves, then it will look a lot better. Oh, and Ash left. But yeah, if you do have haphazard curves, it will look a lot better than if you have different curves, like more orderly curves, because it is natural. And if you have really all over the place curves, it's gonna look more natural than if you place it very systematically. Also, if you notice that this cliff is the easiest built when it's on a flat plane or close to a flat plane. Like I've shown you the cliff from 2 flat planes that you can look at, and it's basically flat with a bit of depth. Like here, this is basically flat. It does come out here, but it's easiest built on either one plane or another, and then you bridge it together. With the next photo, you can see that each layer of curves, or like the curves that are on the cliff, is similar to the next layer, so it'll come out every layer with a similar curve, but it's more simplified every time. And that just makes it look like the cliff retains its shape and has a natural shape that isn't just a small dent in the cliff. And it is more of something that's actually a part of the cliff. It takes into consideration the different planes that you'll see the cliff from. So from each angle, you will see that there will be depth and curves. It's not just an added layer, an added block out so you can see depth. Or there is a curve there from every side, and that's just the way the cliff is. But this curve, I started with this, and then I brought it up, and then I brought it more simplified until it just went away, and I did that on the other side as well. It's a small curve, brought it down, bigger curve, and then it only curves at the top and brings it down a bit, and then it's gone. But it makes it look like this is part of the natural curve, the natural cliff, and it comes out at the bottom and it goes up at the top, and that's just the shape of the cliff. You want to add overhanging grass like up here, so it looks like gravity's in play. If you don't have this here, it won't look very good. It's not going to be like these sorts of cliffs where it looks natural, because that's the way Minecraft generation is. And with these sorts of cliffs, the dirt is stacked on top and it piles up to make like a nice pile shape. But if you just don't have these, it doesn't work, because this cliff is like the opposite shape. It comes out, it doesn't go in like a mound shape, a natural mound shape. So you're going to need something at the top to cap it off and show that gravity is actually at play here, even though it doesn't look like that mound that gravity would create if you just dropped sand. And as I've been doing, you need to add greenery on the top. Leave like overhanging grass or like bone meal the area. Make it look part of the natural environment. You don't need super tall grass. You don't need the flowers. But just a bit of grass here and there, just to tie it back in with the natural environment, is going to be really helpful. And make it look like it was actually make it look like it's not actually artificial and you didn't create it. Make it look like it was made with something like this that Minecraft actually generated. Add in like grass. If you want more than just grass, you can add bamboo and flowers to make it pop, but I'm just going to stick with these because I think it looks the best. Those are my tips to building a cliff that looks decent. I will play with these these shapes and how this cliff looks. Once I've created the river, I need to dig this down, and I will be sure to update you on that. Here's another cliff that I've created. It's quite small. This one has more detail. It has andesite and buttons and walls in there, which makes it look really cool. I've created this double cliff, one cliff on top of the other. I hope you enjoyed. Leave a like if you enjoyed. Subscribe if you haven't already, and if you want more tips on how to build well. And I will see you next week.